Hello, my name is Chelsey Blevins. I'm the winemaker here at 53rd Winery and Vineyard. We're located in Louisa County, Virginia. We're smack dab in the central of Virginia in the Piedmont region, and we've been open since 1999. We started as Cooper Vineyards in 1999, and then in 2015 we rebranded to 53rd Winery and Vineyard, and that's when I joined the winemaking team here, is when we rebranded. Winemaking sort of found me. I was a psych major at James Madison University. I had graduated in 2014, and I was just unsure of where my life was going to take me at that point in time. One day I was out job searching. I stopped by a winery for a wine tasting. It was Horton Vineyards, and I walked out of the wine tasting with a harvest position. And so that was really what got my winemaking journey started, was that first harvest, the whim of jumping into something completely unknown and just seeing where it would take me. My first harvest, my parents pretty much told me, hey, you're wasting your degree, you need to go get an actual career. And then after that point in time, they saw the passion ignite within me, and they've become my biggest supporters. And I really feel like my family helped instill a really good work ethic, a really good drive, and that's what really kind of keeps me going. And so I joined them for the harvest in 2014. We processed over 500 tons of grapes, which was insane.
When I retired, they bought me 10 classes at PVCC on viticulture and enology. So I was in the classes, and Chelsey was in a lot of them at the time also. But at the end, all these classes were at wineries. They all ended in tasting wine, and everybody's joking and laughing, and she's taking detailed notes in her notebook at every wine she tasted. So I said, I gotta ask her what she could possibly be writing at the end of this class.
After I finished my first harvest at Horton Vineyards, I was kind of looking to turn this into a career. And during that time, I actually met the owner of 53rd Winery, Dave Drillick. He was taking those same courses through PVCC, trying to learn as well. We ended up connecting during a few of those courses, and he was like, this girl's taking a lot of notes. I want to go see what she's about.
And next class she was there, I sat next to her, got into a conversation. She says, I'm trying to develop my palate better. So I'm writing down everything that I think I'm getting out of a wine, and I'm trying to understand that better. And
we got to talking. I kind of was telling him my dream and my vision, and he offered me an assistant winemaking position.
I was impressed by that. We're talking about the industry, and I mentioned that we have a part-time winemaker, but he could really use an assistant, and would you be interested in that? And she came back 2 days later and says, you bet. And we hired her after that, and it's been great ever since. But I was impressed by her passion and dedication, and also her willingness to learn.
I am meticulously cleaning and planning and doing everything I can to make sure that I'm setting the wines up perfectly. I'm not trying to rush through the process. I'm not just trying to slam a wine through.
She's taken UC Davis extension classes. She's been studying it. She goes to the research exchange to learn stuff. But she starts from a humble approach that I'm really learning, and she tries new things often, every year in the processing. But she doesn't do it in the big way. She's going to try a little bit. She's cautious, try it. If it works, she'll expand it. But I think also, I'm just impressed with her authenticity. When she speaks to a group of people, she comes across as a very well-meaning, well-intentioned, and knowledgeable, but she'll say in front, if she doesn't know an answer, she'll say, I'm not quite sure on that. In fact, one of her answers was one time she says, I need a lot more experience before I can answer your question on that. But that's what people love, her authenticity, and she loves to go out and meet customers. So if we have an event and she's there, she makes it a point to talk to everybody there at that thing. And that just makes people like her even more, because she's very personal.
The measure of a successful winemaker truly starts with the blending process. Here we see Chelsey pulling barrel samples that she'll take back to her lab for a series of blending trials. This is all part of the artistry of winemaking, and where Chelsey applies her knowledge, experience, and passion into what goes in the bottle. The samples from each barrel are carefully cataloged before any blending begins. Chelsey then draws an exact amount from the desired sample with a pipette and creates multiple blends in separate glasses. This attention to detail ensures repeatability once the final blend is chosen. Next, Chelsey tastes each blend and documents her experience based on color, aromas, flavors, and overall impressions.
First, I like to go through and sniff every one of the glasses just so I can get an idea of the aromas on them. Because there is a bias if you start with the first one and kind of work through the three, you tend to have a preference for the first one. So I like to go through each of them first, and then I'll taste through each of them, and then I'll kind of make my notes on them.
This process of pulling barrel samples to create blending trials may be repeated multiple times depending on her impressions. Knowing when a wine has reached its maturity in the barrel and determining what proportion of each barrel will end up in the final blend is a skill that only comes with years of experience and dedication to the craft. Chelsey has received an array of awards for her outstanding wines at the prestigious Virginia Governor's Cup, as well as numerous other wine competitions across the United States.
Graham Bell was my first winemaking mentor. He was actually the winemaker here at Cooper Vineyards as it transitioned into 53rd Winery and Vineyard. And Graham and I worked together for about 4 years, just learning all the ins and outs of winemaking. And he really taught me to appreciate the art and the sensory aspect of winemaking. He really taught me how to taste the grape, taste the wine, and then to know where that's gonna lead down the line. Dr. Joy Ting, on the other hand, really got me to appreciate the analysis and more of like the numbers and the science behind winemaking and how to correlate that into a product. Winemaking, you have lots of plans, you have lots of visions, but until you actually get into it, you have to kind of find your way. And so Joy kind of gave me the science background that I was missing, and then Graham really gave me like the artistry background, and I think the two of them together really helped mold me into who I am today. Now, I really lean into the vintage variation here in Virginia. So whatever Mother Nature gives me, I try to work with that. So I don't try to force a wine to be anything it's not. So for instance, in a wet or rainy year, maybe a year with a lot more disease pressure, I'm gonna lean into a lighter style, a more elegant style, and really not try to fully extract a whole lot from the grapes, because you can kind of get some microbial issues with that. But I really try to lean into whatever Mother Nature gives me, and vice versa. In a hot and dry year, I can really create more like fuller bodied, heavily extracted wines because that's what the grapes give me. But then I also consider myself a reductive fruit forward winemaker. And what that means is I am purposely trying to eliminate oxidation and oxygen exposure through every stage of winemaking, because my goal as a winemaker is to preserve all the elegant aromatics and the delicate fruits and florals that if you get too much oxygen exposure, they're simply lost. I like to stay true to the fruit. I don't like to mask with a lot of heavy oak aging or use a lot of additives. I want you to taste our fruit and our land. I think what led me to that winemaking style is those are the wines that I simply really like to drink myself. And so I like really fresh and fruity and fun wines. And it's also a style that our customer base really appreciates well. So as much as I like making those style of wines, they do have to sell. And so I really try to craft wines that not only are wines that I would enjoy, but that our customers enjoy. And we found that if we kind of lean more into that fruit-focused style and really just try to stay true to ourselves, stay authentic to the fruit, our customers just go crazy for it. That's what I really think is what it takes to stand out in this industry. It's really the quality of your wine and the dedication to do everything it takes to get it to that next level.
All right. Hi, my name is Chelsey Blevins. I'm the winemaker here at 53rd Winery and Vineyard, and today I'm doing a barrel racking. So what I'm doing is I've laid out all of my 2023 Merlot barrels here, and I'm going to be taking 4 of these barrels today, and I'm going to be combining them into one of our smaller tanks right behind me here. I kind of decided through little bench trials what this final blend was going to be, and so I'm going to get this wine out of the barrels and into the tank now, and there it's going to sit for about 2 months. I want to give it plenty of time to fully integrate with itself. I'll be able to run different lab trials on it, kind of get the final alcohol percent on that, total SO2, residual sugar, that sort of information. And then this will be ready to bottle in July of 2025. Then we'll probably let it sit in bottle for about another year to get some bottle age on it, and then we'll release it to the public. My purpose of that doing is I want to age this wine as long as possible in here so that when we put it for sale for the consumers, it's ready to go. You're not having to sit on this bottle for a year, 2 years, 5 years before it's really at its prime. And so I want to do some of that aging for you, so as a consumer, the wine is just ready to go for you. We don't want to pull this out just straight out, because there will be wine that'll kind of fly out. We don't want to lose a drop here. look at this barrel next. There we go. And then I'm going to pull up my flashlight and just take a look and see where the sediment's at in there. And so what I'm looking for here is I'm looking to see if I'm picking up sediment. That just kind of tells me how dirty the wine is. So there are solids that will fall to the bottom of the barrel during time. Most of that's just dead yeast cells. And so what I'm doing is I'm racking off the clean wine from the top and trying to leave the dead yeast cells in the bottom, and that's what we're going to rinse out of the barrels. I'm going to be flipping this barrel over into this bucket, and I'm going to be catching any of the leftover wine in here. It's mostly lees at that point in time. I'm going to put it in a bucket, and then I'm actually going to move it into one of these small carboys I have back here. I'll show you that in a minute. And what I'm doing is I'm just going to let it settle out for about a week and then pull off all the clean wine off the top. Because like I said, I want to get every single drop out of these wines that I can. So you can see it's a lot of sludge in there, but I'm still going to settle it out and see what I can get out of there. So here I am with a full bucket of lees. So this is what was at the bottom of our wine barrels that I didn't want going into the final blend. So what I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to be dumping this bucket into this carboy here, and I'm actually going to let it settle out for about a week. What it's going to do is all the heavy particles, all the dead yeast cells are going to fall to the bottom of this vessel now, and then I'm going to pull the clean wine off the top of this. Yes, it is an extra step, but I do want to make sure I get every last drop that I can out to put in the bottle for you guys.
There's a lot of great minerals here in Virginia that shine through in the wines, especially the wineries that are grown in the Blue Ridge Mountains. I really do feel like those wines, you can get a sense of place. For instance, you have like the Chardonnays grown on greenstone here in Virginia. You taste that in the wine. And even the wines that I have growing in the Blue Ridge and our sister vineyard site, like you get that sense of minerality. You can taste the granite in the wines. And so I really think that that shines through for us.
But the elevation at the Simmons Gap Vineyard, it's 850 to 1,100 feet. There's a lot of granite and shale rock in there. In fact, when we were putting in the vineyard, the crew that helped put it in says, if you're going to expand this, don't call us because we do not want to take out any more rock.
But the one good thing about the Louisa site here is we have a high content of silica in our soil. From what I was told, we're actually on an ancient volcanic ridge. And so that's where the high silica content comes from. And so our Chardonnay and our Albarino really pull that silica content out, and it shows in the wines.
This is an old volcanic ridge. And if you looked at the soil composition, they would call it ancient schist below, about a foot of red clay, maybe some sandy loam around. And I'm told it's similar to the soils of Portugal and Spain.
Our second vineyard site is located in Free Union, Virginia. It's at the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains in the Monticello AVA. It's actually where Dave, the owner, and his wife Susan live. And that's where we have all of our vinifera planted. So I have Chardonnay, Viognier, Merlot, Cab Franc, Cab Sauv, Petit Verdot planted on that site.
The second site, which is it's on the border of Albemarle and Greene County, our Simmons Gap Vineyard. The elevation's 850 feet to 1,100 feet. A lot of granite, shale, rock in there. Even on what I call Block 4, it's the highest elevation where we grow Cabernet Sauvignon there. And it's the vines struggle, but that's making for better wine. And and we're learning, of course. You know, I've got on that hillside Merlot planted at the bottom because that's where the water flows down, and they like wet feet. And Cabernet Sauvignon likes drier, so that's up on towards the top.
You have better drainage, better airflow on that site. And of course, it's right on the side of a mountain, so those vines are digging right into that rocky soil, and they're really digging into that granite and into that mountainside. So I have a lot of that drastic, mountainous, mineral-y kind of content coming into those wines versus the wines produced here at 53rd. They're a little bit softer, they're a little bit more expressive, a little bit more lush.
If you like wines that are fruit forward, moderate alcohol levels, more imbalance of tannins and structured in terms of structure, think of more European style wines. We're not going to get to the West Coast styles. We just don't have the heat and the growing days. So we are more like European style. But I also tell people it's a Virginia style. Our soils, while similar to other parts of the world, are Virginia. And I think as we learn as an industry how to work our vineyards and soils and the winemaking, we're coming over the Virginia style. But if most people enjoy that fruit forward and versus earthy or some of these other flavors that you would get from a hot wine. And if you enjoy those type of things, refreshing, like even the white wines, they certainly have a little more acidity to them, which makes them refreshing. Same with rosés. So I think that's what I tell people when they're looking. If you know about our wines, that's it. But if you're looking for a California style wine, you probably came to the wrong place.
My greatest challenges with winemaking is definitely the climate. So as much as I would like to make wine the same way every year, Mother Nature just simply does not allow that to happen, at least if you want to make good wine. So really, dealing with the climate and knowing that it's going to be different every single year and really rolling with that is a challenge for all of us here. The hardest grapes to grow here in Virginia are definitely like your European vinifera. The skins of the grapes are just very, very thin, and they can't really handle the humidity or the rainfall that we have here in Virginia. That's why I kind of lean more into producing more hybrid grapes, because they can handle our humidity, our climate, and then they can handle more of an erratic climate as well too. I think their popularity is only going to rise as we go forward and more of the customers become comfortable with seeing new names like Chardonnay, like Chambourcin, like Norton. So as the consumers get more comfortable seeing it, I think they're going to be more widely planted and more widely accepted here. And I think those of us that are jumping on this bandwagon from the get-go and doing what we can to promote those grapes and make the best wine out of it, I think we're going to be really successful and substantial at the top. I think in 20 years, people are really going to be looking at hybrids to say, I think this is a world-class wine and I want to plant that. So I do see us kind of embracing them more, especially as time goes on and as we see more extremes in the climate.
"53rd Winery and Vineyard" combines beautiful landscapes, a world-class winemaker, a dedicated vineyard crew, and a faithful cast of employees and volunteers who all contribute their unique talents to each and every bottle. But don't just take my word for it. Plan a visit for yourself to see what I'm talking about. We want to thank Chelsey Blevins and Dave Drillitt for their generous time and dedication to the making of this project. To everyone at 53rd Winery and Vineyard, cheers! And thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this.